The Colombian president folded like a cheap tent and in less than an hour agreed to all of Trump's terms, and he even offered his presidential plane to finish the job like a dog, well, with his tail between its legs.
All before President Trump was back in the clubhouse at the golf course, like an STUD boss, a far cry from the foreign policy of the Biden years.
Don't.
And here's why this is so delicious. Trump didn't just make a fool out of Colombia's president. He also proved on one single Sunday in between golf swings that the economic and domestic and foreign policy status quo, shoot, just policy in general, the whole Democrat Party of the past couple of decades, dictated by so-called diplomatic experts, is a load of hot garbage that's all allowed America to get ripped off.
The tariff threat is working, no matter how much the Democrats spread their fear-mongering. Enter AOC, who tried and miserably failed to scare Americans into thinking that Trump's 25% Colombia tariff threat would have raised coffee prices, writing on X, quote, "Remember, we pay the tariffs, not Colombia."
Let's bring in Kansas Senator Roger Marshall. Senator, great to see you. Thank you for joining us. She embarrasses herself, Congresswoman, doesn't know it. But in terms of what happened with Colombia over the weekend, where does this take us? What message does this send to nations far and wide who want to mess with the best, so to speak?
Yeah, digging this whole week's been a nothing but shock and awe. It's been a blitzkrieg for Donald Trump. It's been a long time since we've seen a leader like this. So this sends a clear message to all the leaders: don't mess with the United States right now, that we have a new sheriff in charge. What was impressive was the speed this came out. In years past, this would have taken weeks for a policy to develop. There's President Trump between swings saying, enough of this, Colombia, take back your criminals. So indeed, a new sheriff in town.
Senator, I want to ask you, getting the cabinet in place is really important. There's a vote on the floor. I believe you've already voted on Secretary Bessent as the Treasury Secretary. What's happening with that vote, and how did you vote?
Well, of course, I voted yes, and it went through with flying colors, 68-29. Scott Bessent is approved to be your next Secretary of the Treasury. Scott's going to do a great job. He's going to bring some South Carolina common sense to everything here. He was raised in a small town, but yet he's financially brilliant. So I think he'll be part of the solution as we work forward on the legislation and balancing our budget.
On that note, one interesting thing what happened with Colombia and the tariff threat. And there's an article in the Wall Street Journal, Senator, about what happens on February the 1st with tariffs with Mexico and Canada. But the bigger picture, and I heard Larry Kudlow talking about this with Kevin Hassett, the new chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors. And this is what Kevin Hassett said, and that tariffs aren't just a weapon, but part of supply-side strategy, and could be part of a tax bill where, and Larry has talked about, if you say levy across the board a 10% tariff, you figure out based on imports, that's about $500 billion. That's $500 billion that you could cut in income taxes for the American people. Is that possible as a tax bill is cobbled together?
Anything's possible under Donald Trump. It sounds like we need to all go back and read some history lessons about President McKinley and what he did. But remember, what President Trump is using the tariffs on Mexico and Canada is really a national security issue, that a lot of the fentanyl precursors are now being made in Canada. So we're wanting Canada and Mexico to shore up their borders, and then we'll have some, and then we'll go back to this USMCA trade agreement and shore it up a little bit as well.
Well, I think this is going to be one of the biggest issues. Is it going to be one big, beautiful bill? Or is it going to be a couple bills? Even President Trump hasn't quite figured that out with the House Republicans. Then you have to deal with this issue that you were just talking about, Senator. A lot on the table for the president. One of our finest senators from Kansas, Senator Roger Marshall. Thanks for joining us on The Bottom Line.
Thank you.